Today's video is brought to you by Card Kingdom, and right now you can get this sweet Scoop Soldier sticker when you order over at cardkingdom.com. Just mention in your order notes that you want a Scoop Soldier sticker when you go to checkout. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So it is Theros Beyond Death week number 3, but this time with tournament lists, and good lord do we have a spicy one today. We are heading to Pioneer for a deck that combines together two of the most combo friendly, highest potential cards from Theros Beyond Death. This is Oracle Breach combo, mashing together Thassa's Oracle with Underworld Breach in a combo shell, trying to essentially mill our entire deck really quickly, cast a bunch of stuff from our graveyard. Thassa's Oracle win the game, and this one comes to us from Torino, who took it to a undefeated finish in a league on Magic Online. So congrats to Torino on a really sweet deck. And a quick reminder before we break down Underworld Breach combo for Pioneer. If you enjoy this deck and you want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you could do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So let's walk through Oracle Breach combo, starting with our key combo piece. As ridiculous as this sounds, I can't believe we're talking about this card, Chronic Flooding. So Chronic Flooding, this is a card that is as unplayable as a card can be. Literally, like, this is a card you just can't play in basically any format. 2 mana enchantment goes on a land. Whenever the land becomes tapped, its controller mills for 3. Does not seem like a card that would be driving a fast combo deck in a eternal, non-rotating format like Pioneer. So Chronic Flooding, though, is the most important card in our deck. This is a card that makes our entire deck work to the point where, in the early game, we are using cheap cantrips like Witching Well, like Opt, to dig through our deck to try to find Chronic Flooding, along with some couple of other combo pieces. But we have a bunch of cantrips to help find our Chronic Flooding. We even have some more expensive cantrips. Omen of the Sea, our new 2 mana enchantment-y preordain. Strategic Planning is nice because it offers some mill. We look at our top 3 cards, snag one of them, mill the other 2. So we do want to fill our graveyard. That is a big part of our plan, is just getting cards in our graveyard. That's where Chronic Flooding comes into play. So why are we so interested in finding Chronic Flooding? Why are we trying to stock our graveyard with cards? Well, one reason is Dig Through Time. That's not the biggest reason. Dig Through Time is just like the super tutor. Maybe we play Chronic Flooding, do a little bit of milling. Maybe we use Strategic Planning, get some cards in our graveyard. Dig Through Time is almost like a tutor to find our missing combo pieces. So let's assume that we find our Chronic Flooding using all of our cantrips, using our Dig Through Time. What are we actually doing with this? And the plan is to put Chronic Flooding on one of our own lands and use it to repeatedly, aggressively mill ourselves. 2 Chronic Floodings even better, because our main plan is to keep tapping and untapping the land with Chronic Flooding with the help of Hidden Strings. So Hidden Strings is just 2 mana. You can tap or untap 2 target permanents. It has Cipher. We're not ciphering. That's not really something our deck's concerned about. Basically, 2 mana, untap 2 lands is what Hidden Stirrings is doing in our deck. Well, Hidden Stirrings is mostly targeting our Chronic Flooding lands. So what we want to do is have at least 1 Chronic Flooding. 2 is even better on 2 different lands. Tap those lands for mana, mill ourselves for 3 cards, 6 cards if we have 2 of them, and then we Hidden Stirrings to untap those 2 lands. So essentially, we get to mill some number of cards, either 3 or 6, depending on how many Chronic Floodings we have, for free. So we're milling those 6 cards. Hidden Stirrings untaps those lands. Hopefully we, with all of our cantrips, all of our digging, have another Hidden Stirrings, tap our Chronic Flooding lands, mill a bunch more cards, untap those lands, because what we're trying to get to is Underworld Breach. And we're not just trying to get to Underworld Breach, but we're trying to get to Underworld Breach with a bunch of cards in our graveyard, because once we find our Underworld Breach, we can start doing the Hidden Stirrings trick again. We tap our lands with Chronic Floodings, we mill ourselves for more cards, we escape Hidden Stirrings, we're able to untap those lands. And remember, the trick here is, with Underworld Breach, we don't have to exile the card in our graveyard. So the combo of 2 copies of Chronic Flooding on 2 different lands, Hidden Stirrings in our graveyard in Underworld Breach, gives us infinite mill. We tap those lands, we mill for 6. Using the 2 mana from those lands, we escape Hidden Stirrings, using some of the cards that we milled from our graveyard to untap those 2 lands. Do it again, mill a bunch more cards, Hidden Stirrings again, thanks to escape, untap those lands. So we mill through our entire deck for free once we get this set up, and that means we can cast a Thassa's Oracle from our graveyard graveyard to win the game. Eventually, we will mill the Thassa's Oracles. Then we just put it into play. It triggers. We have no cards in our library. We win the game on the spot. So that is the entire goal of the deck. That's what all these cantrips are setting up. We are trying to get 2 copies of Chronic Flooding on 2 different lands, a Hidden Stirrings, an Underworld Breach, and we essentially just win the game. So this is not going to win us the game like on turn 2, probably not on turn 3, but with a good draw, we can easily win the game on turn 4 with this combo deck in a really spectacular Infinite Mill style of way. Otherwise, couple of Spell Pierces to protect our combo. That's the only other card in our deck that isn't a combo piece or one of the million cantrips to find our combo pieces. Mana base, a bunch of Izzet dual lands, some basic lands. In the sideboard, we get a bunch of protection. Mystical Dispute to fight through counters. Lazotep Plating just makes us and our permanents hexproof, so our opponent can't Assassin's Trophy or Abrupt Decay, our Underworld Breach, let's say. Brazen Borrower to bounce Graveyard Hate or just slow our opponent down. A Brain Anger of the Gods to deal with our opponent's creatures, buy us a bit of time. Narset Part of the Veils, I'm guessing this is just like for control matchups, kind of a draw 2 that also annoys the opponent with its static ability. And that is the ridiculousness of Underworld Breach combo. I can't believe we're talking about Chronic Flooding being a legit card, a legit combo piece in a real deck, in a real powerful format. And that's been our instant deck tech for today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.